Hi friends, I'm the vegan. I make a sweetheart cabbage salad today, and a very simple one. And this is not my own recipe because it's from my mother. Yeah, I mean, I have made it once before as a take 3 recipe, I guess it was, using my special dressing. But now I will use almost her dressing. I have some small changes, but basically it's the way she does it. I have to say, all the family, they're not vegan. Yeah, I work on that, and they're getting advance. For decades I'm talking to them, but slowly they understand. But they're not vegan yet. They consider more and more. But they all love this sweetheart cabbage salad. It's one of the favorite salads. When she goes somewhere, she has to make it. And she knows exactly what to do. She told me again, this is a sweetheart cabbage, a pointed cabbage. You see, they're very simple. And it is the lightest cabbage of all cabbages as far as I understand. Very simple, has a very gentle flavor. Still there is this cabbage flavor, and cabbage flavor is kind of strong and can be unpleasant, but it is very nice together with citrus fruit or sour acidic flavors like vinegar or so. And that's what I'm going to do today. Salt and vinegar is perfect for cabbage. There are other things you can add, of course, many variations. I made one recipe, for example, with orange and sesame blended together. It was super delicious. But today I make her dressing, almost her dressing, and I begin only with a small quantity. This is maybe not a main. You could make it as a main dish, I would say. I love these salads. My family would never do it as a main, of course, but I could eat it as a main. But today I make only one portion for myself, a little side dish. And afterwards I will have a smoothie or something. But to make it, I just show you how it works. It's very simple. The sweetheart cabbage this is a small or medium cabbage. You have to see there is sometimes a little bit dirt here. You cut it off. The outer leaves can be dirty too. Just take them off and then you are done. This is wonderful. One advantage of the cabbages is they are growing as a ball, no dirt inside, so they are so easy to use. And for winter time, cabbage is one of the most favorite vegetables in Germany. We have a special name for that. The krauts we are called sometimes. It's not very nice, but because in Germany a lot of kraut is eaten. Yeah, that's true. So this is now 2 halves. Yeah, I put one away. And I make only a quarter today. That is enough. And I will cut some slices from this half, like this. 1 slice, 2 slices, and 3. So this is a quarter. Here, the quarter, you see the texture inside, so beautiful. That is a typical cabbage flavor, structure here, shape. So I only need a quarter, and I have these slices just because I use today my food processor for these slices. This fits into the mouth of the food processor. I show you that as the next step. I show you this food processor, and it's important to use this tool to me because I can save a lot of time and do even things I hardly could do before. For example, if I use the food processor, I can make a dough for raw food for Life Bakery with nuts and dates and so. And that is hardly to do without. You could do it, but it takes so much more time. This is really a time saver, time and energy saver. It's amazing. But you have to know how to use it appropriately, because there are so many different tools within one food processor, and I don't even begin to understand what they are used for. I have 5 or 6 different blades, and they're all different shapes and knives here. And this one, I had to figure it out first, you know. This is a blade, has 2 sides, you see, 1 side, 2 sides. And this is the gross knife, and this is the fine one, the fine cut. And first I tried the fine cut for the sweetheart cabbage, didn't work. It was so fine that all the water came out of the cabbage and it wasn't delicious anymore. So I used the gross blade for the sweetheart cabbage. It's very important for me to learn. Yeah. how to use these tools. Then it is really fun. And you have to use it here, you have to cut it so that it can fit into these openings, this mouth. Yeah. So that's all of it. So I just put on top. Now after all the talking, I can put my sweetheart cabbage in. Yeah. I put the others nearby so I can start right away. Let's see. That's very fast, very easy. See, that's it. Yeah, it's so fast. You put it in and it's through and it's done. Yeah. You could also in the first video I had a cutting board and a knife and cut fine slices from this one. Yeah. This is also possible. You don't need a food processor, but if you want a big salad for your friends, and I tell you, if you make this big salad for a friend with 1 or 2 cabbages, they will love it, and you will have to use a food processor to make it quick. It's easier then. Yeah. So I have now a salad bowl here, and I put the sweetheart cabbage here inside into the salad bowl. Show you in a moment. You see, this is now the size of the cabbage I prefer. This is exactly the right size, yeah. Because if it is thinner and finer, it loses too much water and it gets a little bit soggy, and it shouldn't. It has to be this wonderful texture. My mother always does this. She calls it boxing of the sweetheart cabbage. She boxes. Not that the water comes out, that wouldn't be necessary, but just a little bit to make it a little bit more soft. That's all. So if it's a little bit broken on the cells, it has a nice exchange with the dressing. It tastes nicer. Because there is this special cabbage flavor, and we always want to play with it. In general, cabbage is very grateful, so to say, for seasoning. Yeah, you can use a lot of spices with cabbage. There are classical recipes where a lot of spices are used with the cabbage, especially in China and Asia. They are great cabbage fans. They have special recipes, or many raw recipes too. It's a classic there. Well, see, that's all I do. Yeah, box a little bit, turn it around. You see, it's a little bit more shiny now, a little bit, not too much. So I put it aside, and now the second step, the final step, I make the dressing. As I said, didn't invent it, so it's not a take 3 dressing. It's not my method. I just try to copy what my mother did with my own ingredients. And I have here a little. This is very versatile, especially when I travel over small quantities. You can shake it and make the dressing on your own. So I have a couple ingredients here. I put in apple cider vinegar. My mother will take another kind of vinegar. I take apple cider vinegar. You see, this is maybe the 1/3 of a cup or so. I begin with a half. I have some extra to make this to balance it afterwards. I have to taste it if it works. That's the way my mother does it. I do it the same. And she would take sugar now. I don't like sugar, so I have agave. This is a raw agave. It's pretty expensive, and I rarely use it. First time I tried this dressing with dates. Dates are my favorite sweetener, but the problem with dates is they have a dark color. And if I blend this with the dates, I have to blend it then, or make a date mousse before, and then the whole cabbage gets a dark color, and it looks rather gray. It's not so appealing to my eyes when it's gray, so I thought, okay, on rare occasions I use agave because of the color. And the sweetness of the agave is a little bit more biting. And this is all very nice together with the apple cider vinegar. So I have another 1/3 cup, maybe, a little bit less. And I begin also with a part, yeah, not everything, so I can adjust a little bit later. Yeah, stop here. Yeah. So I have a little bit there, and I have pepper and salt. Here that is more than I will need. Just to begin here, set pepper and salt, and the ground pepper, because I only have this shaker in my blender. I could use the whole peppercorns, but here in my shaker, I have to use ground, of course. So pinches of pepper and salt, I would say half a teaspoon each. But you can take a lot because it is, as I said, it is cabbage, and cabbage likes a lot of seasoning. So I begin now here to adjust a little bit, and I will shake it now. Shake it, you see? This is the color. Because the seasoning and everything comes together. It's light. It's not dark. Yeah, it's a little bit dark. Let's see. I will taste it now. Vinegar is strong, and I like it. Well, you know, I put the rest in. The vinegar a little bit more, and all of the agave. Can use a little bit more, no problem. Take all of the agave. Yep. And I take all of the pepper, a little bit more pepper and salt. Yeah. Some more. That's okay, I guess, because the dressing in general has to be stronger in the seasoning, yeah, than in the salad, because it gets around the leaves, and then the flavor dilutes, and you will have it still tasty. And the cabbage, as I said, likes a lot of seasoning. So here, one more shaking. Taste it again. Always have to take a new spoon. Yeah, it looks good. Yeah. So pepper is enough. That's for sure. Maybe a little more salt. Yeah, the salt can be a little bit more, but the pepper is enough. Now it begins to taste peppery, but that is enough. In the salad, in the cabbage, it will be okay, but I use all of the salt. So I have to use a little bit more salt than pepper I found. So a teaspoon of pepper and a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of pepper, I would say. And now I add just a tablespoon of oil, not more. Yeah, you can leave the oil away if you don't like the oil. It's olive oil, it's very good quality. Usually I do use almost no oil. It's not very healthy because it's pure fat, and it's taken from the whole food. It's no more whole food oil, so that's not so recommended. Health nutritionalists, doctors, so they will say no oil, but if a little bit is not, I think it is okay. It's for the texture a little bit, it's a little bit of flavor. It's just a small amount, but you can leave it away, as I said. So now I shake it again to leave the final state. So my mother, what she would do is she would put a lot of water in there, and then together with the water, she would bath the salad in that. Yeah, I don't do that. I take not that much water. Now taste it again. Yeah. Okay. And here I do it. Here's my cabbage. Here's the dressing. And my mother says you have to let it sit for half an hour or so. Oh no, you can't eat it immediately, but she likes to make it in advance and eat it a half an hour later for her guests. She always makes it for her guests. I will taste it now. I'm very excited now. Wonderful. So easy. See? A wonderful cabbage flavor is there. It's not too dark, not gray. It's still this white, green, yellowish cabbage color. And a nice sour flavor. Maybe a little bit more salt even. Yeah. More salt. Yeah. Let's try. Just a little bit. Seasoning is important. To have the balance between sweet and sour and salty. Try it again. Wonderful. This is just a small portion, just to show how I would do it, and maybe on my own I take another quarter and add it. I don't know, but this is amazing. Try. Maybe you have your own variation of the dressing. You can even put other ingredients into the cabbage, but all by itself. This is wonderful. It's a great hit. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. I hope you feel inspired. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. I will tell my mom you like it. And if you like, also you can subscribe MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day. And find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter.